Welcome back to Under Pressure, the Business Builder podcast for pressure washers. I'm your host, Jake, and today I have with me Legacy Mike. Mike Wingard.
Yo,
Hello, Mike. Nice to have you
what's
here.
up? Thanks,
Thanks for
man.
joining us.
Appreciate
So,
it.
for anyone who doesn't know Mike, Mike is the founder and CEO of Legacy. And Mike, could you tell us a little bit about yourself as we have you join us here?
Yeah, man. Well, I mean, first of all, thanks for having me. I'm really excited. I'm hoping to bring an amazing amount of value to you guys, on this and share my story and hopefully inspire you guys to be a better version of yourself and to leave a legacy that impacts future generations. So, a little bit about me, the Cliff Notes version is I started a company with no money doing window cleaning because I kind of got desperate. I was selling real estate and I was in between closings and, I knew I had some future money coming out there, but I had to, pay my bills and get groceries, right? So I got a bucket and a mop and a squeegee from Home Depot and I went door to door doing commercial window cleaning, just making cash. And the first day I went out, I made $40. The second day I went out, I made $80. And then it was like I made 100 and something. And then it was like some guy was like, "Hey, can you come and do my house?" And I made $300. And this was in the middle of winter in Pennsylvania. It was like in December. And I was like, man, if I could make $300 a day cleaning windows in the middle of winter, there's got to be something to this. And so, I just started building from there. And we could get into some more details, but essentially, I went from zero to 600K in 2.5 years and was able to completely exit my company and move 12 hours away to South Carolina. And my business ran for 20 months without me. And I visited the business one time. So I had the business for almost 5 years and then just sold that company in September. So,
Well, congratulations.
thanks, man. Yeah, it was a journey.
Oh, I'm sure. And
Yeah.
so you get into this space, and what was your first experience getting into this space? What was it like growing a company for the first time here?
I always describe it as blood, sweat, and tears, but mostly tears. Right. So there's a lot of, like coming home at night and being like, what the heck am I doing? Like, this is stupid. And I think like the difference for me is that I left a really good corporate job with a fast track to like corporate success.
Hmm.
And I had been promoted a lot of times on my job. I used to work for Dick's Sporting Goods in their corporate office. And I worked for Nike and Under Armour and all these big brands and stuff. And then I'm like, dude, I'm out here cleaning windows. Like, what the heck am I doing? You know? And I had to get over I had to get over that, right? And like humble myself and
Hmm.
realize like what was I doing for the long term, right? Like I could be at this corporate job and make really good money, but is that the legacy that I want to leave for my kids and for my grandkids? And I knew it wasn't. I wanted my legacy to be I'm in control of my life. I do what
Hmm.
I make as much money as I want to make or as little money as I want to make. If I want to take a break and not make any money and live off of my businesses and not continue to grow and coach my kids' teams, I could do that. Like I wanted to design a life that was worth living.
Wow, that's powerful.
Thanks, man.
So, what advice would you give to someone who's thinking about, maybe leaving some sort of corporate job or something like that, and taking the leap into starting their own service company?
Yeah, so I mean, there's never a good time to do it. Everyone's always like, so when I have this lined up, and this lined up, I'm gonna do it. Like
Yeah,
now, hear me out on that. Don't be reckless. Don't be stupid, right? But
yeah,
like, I'm always waiting for people that are like, I'm always hearing from people. I'm gonna wait until I get my business to $10,000 a month, and then I'm gonna quit
yeah.
my job. I'm gonna do this on the side. It's like, well, dude, the reality is you're never gonna get to that $10,000 a month consistently if you're not focused and dedicated, right? But at the same time, like you need like realize how much time that you would waste if you just like did it the slow and methodical. Like I'm all about burning the ships, dude. Like
Hmm.
for those of you who have read Think and Grow Rich, it's one of the most powerful mindset books you could ever read, and it literally talks about this where when generals or commanders or whatever would go to conquer a new territory, when they got there, they would literally burn the ships that they came in on, and they'd say, "We either conquer this territory or we die." Right?
Wow.
And I think like you have to approach your business and your legacy with that mindset. Like, I am either going to be successful and I'm going to live the life that I want to live, or I'm going to die trying, dude. I
Yeah.
would rather live my life with no regrets. I've never heard anyone say on their deathbed, oh man, I really wish I would have played it more safe. I really wish I would have taken the safer
Yeah.
route. Everyone always says, man, dude, I really wish I would have taken more risk. I would have done something different. I would have, coached my kids' teams, or I would have taken my kids to Disney World more, or spent more time with my wife, or played golf once a week, or whatever the things that you want to do, right? Like, and you're not going to be able to do that if you're stuck in a 9 to 5 job and someone's telling you what to do all the time.
Absolutely. So I want to go over legacy real quick because it's something
Yeah.
we've talked about a couple times now. So Mike, your group legacy, you told me about it off air, but I just want you to talk about it a little bit before we get into, some of your advice on how to grow a business, how to scale it, how to get it started. Talk about legacy a little bit and what you do with that group for businesses, with the fast tracking people to their success and really helping cultivate that mindset and building out teams and standards.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So what I've noticed from entrepreneurs is you're on an island, right? Like, nobody understands what you do. You're very a unique breed of person, unique personality, all that stuff. So like, we have a community of people, and we bring everyone together, and we say, look, like, it's multifaceted. First, like, you get the knowledge, right? Like, you get a team, me and my team of experts that know how to build a company, that know how to go from point A to point B and B to C, and so on and so forth. So we have all the tools, the templates, the systems, the training videos, and we have a team that helps you implement stuff, marketing people, operations people, all that stuff. And so, like, you get the knowledge, but you also get the community, right? You get friends, you get people that you can do life with, you get people that you could pick the phone up and cry and not be judged, right? Like, we've all been in that place. Like, I literally just came on here and told you guys, like, I cried all the time when I started my business, right? But
Yeah.
like, imagine having people that you can do life with when bad things happen. I mean, we had someone in our group, his dad passed away unexpectedly, and our group raised money for his family for the funeral and their expenses, right? So like,
Wow.
you get
Yeah.
a community of people. And I think that, like, some people don't understand the value and the impact that can make. I mean, we had a guy in our group last year who was stuck at like between 150 and 180,000. He joined our group and he did 444,000.
Wow.
So like, imagine that. And here's the best part, guys, because everyone hears the numbers and they're like, oh, that's awesome. Like, I want to make more money. But like, he removed himself from the field and his team is out doing the work. He's running the business. So he's been able to go on more vacations, spend more time with his family, be at home every day. So like, we help you not only build a business, but build a lifestyle, right? That's more
Mhm.
enjoyable. Anyone can go and tell you grind more and work harder. Like, great
Yeah.
coaching program, like, great advice. But like, we want to be the people that's like, what's your legacy, dude? Like,
Yeah.
are you happy with the person that you're looking at in the mirror? Are you proud of yourself? Like, are you a good husband, father? Are you a good steward of the things that you've been given? Like, are you helping your community? Are you
Yeah.
active in your faith? Right? Like, is your mind, body,
Yeah.
and spirit healthy? It's not just about your business, dude. The business is like the vehicle that you're driving to help you get there and give you the income that you want.
Absolutely. And for me, just from my perspective, it's great and motivating to hear coaches or people you're looking for business advice. It's great when they give you the abstract, right? The abstract advice. But at the end of the day, that can help motivate you, but that's not going to help you get to where you want to be. It's going to be the concrete, the guys with the boots on the ground experience, they're going to help you grow. And so you being in legacy and having your mastermind, your community, I'm sure you've seen a lot of different ways you can go about growing your business. So you know what works and what doesn't work. So I'm wondering if you could share a little bit of advice. I don't want you to give away the secret sauce, but as
Yeah.
much as you're willing to give on this podcast, for
Yeah.
someone who's looking to grow a pressure washing business, what's the most important thing to do right now? What's working, what's not working?
Yeah. Well, you said a couple really important things there. So, one, there is no secret sauce, right? So I'm going to
Yeah.
give you guys the secret sauce right now, and that is that there is none.
Yeah.
The second point is when you said, how do you grow a pressure washing business? Well, that's a very important term, right? Because a lot of you guys out there are not actually growing a business. You're growing an income stream or you're growing a job, right? So, like, we help you build an actual company, and a real company has employees, right? So, the
Yep.
number one thing that you should be focused on is building your team out. Whoa, that sounds scary, right? Like, oh my gosh, how do
Oh,
I
it's
do that?
gonna be a lot of cost. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, right. So, like, guys, I want to tell you, like, it's not as scary as we make it, but I also want to tell you that I've been in the position that you're in and being like, oh my gosh, this is the scariest thing I've ever done. So, like, you can either do it alone or you can do it with a team of people who can help you get over those fears. And once you realize that, like, building a team is a price of admission for having a real company and you learn how to do it, it becomes a normal part of your business operation. And I want to tell you guys something really cool. Like, so I sold my cleaning company in September. And as we're recording this, it's middle of February. The person that took over that company still has the exact same team in place of when I left. So some of these guys have been in our company for 3 to 4 years, and they're making 15, 18 bucks an hour, dude. I mean, like, they could go get jobs doing a lot of other stuff, but it's the culture and the brand that we've put together that's caused them to stay in the company. And so I want to encourage you guys that it is possible.
All right. So the first thing is to build a team, and
Yeah.
we had talked prior to recording this, and off air we talked about setting up the structure as well. Beyond building a team, what does it take to get it from building a job or an income stream to building a business? So you build a team. What else do you need to have that foundation?
Yeah. So really, like, here's like the steps. The first step is you've got to get your business off the ground to like $5,000 to $10,000 a month. The magic number is closer to 10, right? So get your business off the ground by yourself. That should only take you 2 to 3 months. I know it seems like
Yeah.
that's really difficult. It's really not, right? That's $500 a day, 20 working days a month. You're not even working weekends at that point, right? So get your business to 10K. Then, and like, to get your business to that point is really easy, guys. Like, you don't have to spend much marketing at all. You can do it mostly organic, and I can show you how to do that. Get your business to 10K. Then I want you to hire 2 to 3 people. People are going to be like, oh my gosh, how do I hire 2 to 3 people? Well, it's as simple, right? If you have 40 or 45 hours of work, cleaning work to do, right? And you hire 3 people or 2 people and you split that work up, each worker is going to get anywhere from 15 to 20 hours, right? From
Hmm.
people who have run businesses before, they will tell me that this is accurate. If you hire 3 people, the chances of 3 people showing up on the first day is almost impossible. And, like, let alone them staying for 1 week, right? So
Hmm.
now you're already down to 2 by the end of the first week, right?
Yeah.
Then if you have 2 good guys, the chances of one of those guys staying for 90 days is also very slim. So now you're down to 1 guy, right? But that's the thing, is like, if you need 1 guy, you need 3. So that way you can maintain your momentum. Because what I see, what happens for a lot of people is they'll bring 1 guy in, they'll train him. The dude will be lazy. They won't show up. You're working directly with them every single day. You're getting frustrated. Like, I'm out here working with this guy and he's taking half the money now,
Yeah.
or a percentage of the money, whatever it is. Like, I could do this much faster myself. And the reality is you probably could, right? So they either get frustrated and quit, or you fire them and then you're back down to 0.
Yeah.
But where the true freedom is you being able to build a crew of 2 guys that can go out and do the technician work without you. And then you can focus on selling, and you can focus on building out your second crew, right? And I can tell you guys, like, I might be jumping ahead a little bit. It is way easier to run $1 million company than it is to run $100,000 company. It is
Yeah.
almost exponentially easier. Like, I was working less than 5 hours a week consistently on my company. Most weeks I was only working 1 or 2 hours a week because I had a team. I had an office manager, I had a general manager, I had an ops manager, I had people running my company for me.
Yeah. And when you're in that position where you're wearing all the hats, before you hit that inflection point, now you have people running your company. How hard was it wearing all the hats, did that really weigh you down as a business owner? Does that hurt you when you think you can do everything?
No, because you have to do everything at the beginning, right? Like you have to learn how to do it. You're not going to be able to teach somebody how to do something you don't know how to do. So, um, guys, like I want to tell you that like building a business is probably the best thing you could ever do in terms of your professional life.
Mhm.
I mean, it's like getting married, my relationship with God, getting married, having kids, and then building a business for me,
Mhm.
like that in that order, right? So, it's so important, but at the same time, it's really difficult and challenging. And it's also one of the most rewarding things you could ever do. So, like, the reality is, guys, if you go out and you planted a seed today, you're not going to get fruit tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, if you sit there and you watch that plant, it's just going to grow little by little, little by little. And then 6 months in, you're going to be like, oh, dude, like, finally. I mean, it literally takes like 2 years to grow one pineapple. I don't know if people know that, but like, it's like, does that seem worth it? Not really. But like, imagine having an orchard. Imagine having tons and tons of pineapples that are constantly growing, but that's going to take time, right? So I think like the question I want to ask you guys is like, do you want to have a piece of fruit or do you want to have an orchard? And if you want to have an orchard, let's do it the right way.
Absolutely. And doing it the right way is something I wanted to get into next. We're actually going to take a moment to hear word from our sponsor, Pair Payments. And when we get back, I want to talk a little bit about mindset.
You certainly can't afford to give profit away for no reason. But what if I told you credit card processors may be overcharging you and robbing you of profits you've worked hard to earn? It's time to put an end to being overcharged for payment processing. It's time to take back your profits. That's why we've put together a free report, How to Avoid Being Overcharged by Your Payment Processor. Head over to takebackyourprofits.com, download the report, and put an end to being overcharged for credit card processing. You've worked hard for your sales, and you deserve to keep it. What are you waiting for? Go to takebackyourprofits.com and download your report today.
All right, we are back with Mike Wingard of Legacy, and this is Under Pressure. I'm your host, Jake, and I'm excited to get back into it and to talk about mindset. So before we started recording, Mike and I were talking about a scarcity mindset and how that could hold you back in business. So Mike, could you talk a little bit about scarcity versus abundance mindsets?
Yeah, man. I mean, here's the interesting part, guys. Like, money is so abundant. And once we realize that, it completely shifts our perspective. Like, we think that there's a limited amount of resources out there. There's really an unlimited amount. And let's just say, for example, someone to make the argument, there's a limited amount of money that's printed out there, right? Well, here's the thing, guys. There's an unlimited amount of times that money exchanges hands. It never stops, right? So money is always
Yeah.
fluid and it's always moving. And if you operate from the perspective of a wealthy mentality, what you put into the universe is going to come back to you. So, like if you're constantly operating scared or you're constantly trying to, undercut your vendors or negotiate with them and you're trying to nickel and dime everything, well, guess what's going to happen to you? People are going to nickel and dime you on your prices. People are going
Yeah.
to, try to push you around and stuff. The way I operate is like, I want everyone to succeed. I don't care who it is. And I grow my team with me. So for example, like when I was growing my cleaning company, I told my vendor, like, dude, every place that I go into, like, I'm not going to be salesy about it or anything like that, but like, you've helped me so much that like, I'm going to recommend that they buy all their chemicals and supplies from you, just flat out because
Yeah.
you're a good dude. Right. And so like, I've kind of done that and built my team that way. And, if I could just like expand on that, I would say like, people make this so complicated of building a team and thinking like everything's so expensive, but like it's really not. Like you can build an amazing team and just build it into the cost of your business. Like for example, like if you're doing your own accounting right now, like I would recommend just hire an accountant to do that, right? Like outsource
Mhm.
it. So then you don't have to worry about it and some by a professional. Like you guys, you do payment processing. We were talking offline, dude. Like what you guys sell and what you offer people is a no-brainer. Like I'm wondering, like, why wouldn't someone do this? Like, give me a reason to not sign up. I can't really think of
Yeah.
one. So, like, that's where you could have a team, right? Like, I use a payroll company that's $80 per paycheck to do all of my payroll and HR and W-2s and all. Like, dude, that's a no-brainer, right? But like, we operate under this mentality that like we've got a limited number of resources, so we have to conserve those things. And I just don't operate like that, man. And I always end up growing my income so much because of that.
Absolutely. And I think it's so powerful as well. We had talked about this community aspect, right? Of how powerful it is to share ideas and information. And I'm sure this is something you can speak to, but with this scarcity mindset, if you do have that mindset, you're not going to want to talk to competitors in your market because you'll be worried that any information you give them, they'll be able to use to get a one leg up on you and take your customers. But I'm sure, Mike, that you haven't seen that. When you communicate with people and share ideas, doesn't it just benefit everyone? Does
It does.
a rising tide raise all ships?
It does, dude. And like, it's so funny because I think like people get offended or they get like, they feel a certain way when they hear stuff like this. Like, oh, this is like internet guru bullcrap talk of people live in an abundant mindset and like speak things into existence and manifest it and, you know, all this stuff. But like, dude, it's not internet guru bullcrap. Like, it's real. And like, I've just seen what it's done for me in my life, and I've seen what it's done for so many other people. And like, when you get in a room and you share ideas, like you get better and the other person gets better. And then you share resources. And there's a quote out there that's like, if you want to go fast, do it yourself. If you want to go far, do it with a team. So like, sure, dude, if your goal is to build a company that does 70,000 a year in revenue and you're doing all the work and it's a dumpster fire, like by all means, do it yourself. Like I wouldn't even recommend doing the stuff that we say. But like, if you want to build a real company, you want to build a business, you want to live a legacy that impacts future generations, I would build a team. Like I would actually get these resources around you.
Yeah. So speaking of these resources, if someone wants to do this and they hear this podcast and they're like, yes, Mike, I need to do this. I need to build a team. What are the best resources that they can find the information on how to do it?
Yeah, I mean, there's tons of people out there, you know, like free groups and all that kind of stuff. And I think like depending on your situation, it can be good, but there's not a lot of free knowledge on how to build good teams and how to put systems in your business. Because I was just watching a movie on the plane back from Vegas this past week, The Dark Knight. Right. And the Joker, Heath Ledger in the movie, he was like, if you're good at something, never do it for free. Right. They asked him, like, why haven't you taken out Batman? If you're that good and you could take him out, he's like, why would I do it for free? Right. Like, there's nothing in it for me to do it. And so and those who pay attention. Right. So like, that's where I'm a big proponent of mastermind groups and coaching groups, because I've seen what it's done for me. And when I put the money in, invest in myself, I start to believe in myself. And when I believe in myself, I start to show up. And when I show up, I start to get the knowledge. And when I get the knowledge, I start to implement, right? But if like you're just going out there casually listening to like a couple, you know, YouTube videos or podcasts or whatever, I think that's a good way to start. But I think like you have to actually pay to play. You've got to be committed, right?
Yeah. And that is something you said there with the implementation. That's something I'd love for you to talk about, because I'm sure that, you know, there are so many resources out there, whether it's paid or free. There's just an abundance of information, and it is almost oversaturated, and it can be, you know, disorienting if you can't sift through the noise. So how do you sift through the noise and know what's actually going to be effective for your company? I'm sure that it can't just be price tag, right? How do you kind of smell test the resources to know what's great for you and what's not, or if it's a good fit or not?
Yeah, it's results, man. It's results. Like when I use the term legacy, right? Like legacy literally means like your track record. Like what have you done, right? And where are you trending? Where are you going? And you know, I would encourage people to, you know, vet me, look me up online, watch my videos, look at what I've done with my business, look at the people that I've helped. People will call and they'll jump on the phone with me and they'll be like, yeah, I'm really interested in like signing up, but you know, I'm just kind of skeptical. Like, I don't know if you're cool with this, but like, would it be possible for me to like talk to one of the guys in your group? I was like, dude, here's 3 guys' phone numbers. Like, give them a call. Like, talk to as many people as you want. They'll tell you how awesome it is. Like, that's where I think like when you talked about the smell test of like, how do you sniff out the bull crap?
Yeah.
It's like, first of all, look at someone's life and look at what they're putting out and look at their results, and then look at the people that they're impacting around them. Like, And I'm just telling you, like, if you vet our group and the people that are in it, you're going to see some really good results and people that are doing really well.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, and I've heard a lot about this group. So I'm wondering if you were to have someone from the pressure washer community join your group, what's the first thing that once they leave the first meeting or the first event, what do you think is the first thing people normally integrate when they get home? What's something where if they turn off this podcast and they want to get a taste of that legacy mindset, what's the first thing they should implement when they get home after this?
So like where we really start is like we start at the top, right? So like a lot of people will say, hey, I want to build my business to 500,000 a year, right? And they'll go, okay, well, I've got to put the sales in place. I've got to put the team in place. Okay, all that stuff is true. And in some ways, I feel like I'm not answering your question directly, but like, this is why we're so different, right? Like I start at the top and I go, who do I have to become? What traits do I have to possess? What does my mindset have to be? And that's why we're like, when people come to our retreats and they go, we're going to Miami coming up here, March 6th through the 9th. And we have a $5 million yacht rented out for the weekend. We have, a 10-bedroom house with a pool and a hot tub. The people that are coming to speak to us, one of the guys has 400 units of real estate plus like 25 different businesses that all run remote. Another guy built and sold a restoration company. He was doing $10 million a year in revenue. The other guy has an Airbnb company. He makes $150,000 a month in that company. And he also has a kiteboarding school that does multiple millions of dollars a year. Okay. And then like all the attendees that are coming there, like if you go to a weekend like that, imagine how you're going to feel when you come back. You're going to actually feel like you're worth a darn. Like you're going to actually feel like you should be in the room with those types of people. You're going to feel like you actually should own a yacht one day, right? And so like we help people see the lifestyle that they want. And it's not just the money. It's like, dude, I don't want to be working my butt off every single day. Like I don't want to be grinding and, up on the roof, doing the thing, right? Like we help people see the bigger vision. And then we break it down and say, your business is one aspect of that. And then we give you the tools and the knowledge, the systems and the steps, right? So I think to answer your question, like what do people come back and implement from either the calls or the weekends is the sense of belief and the right to live the life that they want to live. And then we reverse engineer it from there.
So you give them that spark, huh?
That's right. And I know what people are probably thinking. They're like, oh yeah, dude, like another guy talking about, this guru stuff and, blah, 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 blah. Dude, it's not that. Like it's so real. And I don't know how else to say it. And I think part of it is like, I just got back from a mastermind in Vegas and like, I got to see it from the other side of the table.
Yeah.
Like I was around amazing people and I got their phone numbers and like, we're friends and we talk back and forth and like we share stories and resources and all of that stuff. And like people don't put enough emphasis on the human capital because it's not as tangible. Like you can't see it on a balance sheet, like you buy a piece of equipment and you're like, oh, this is what this equipment does for me. But like every mastermind that I've been a part of has grown my income tremendously. And so that's why I'm such a big proponent of it. Not because I'm here to just make a bunch of money from it, because I've seen what it's done for me in my life.
Yeah. And just based on how I'm hearing you talk about it, you're meeting these people, you're growing your network, you're now bringing them into your life. And I'm sure there's extra accountability because now if you don't implement what you said you were going to implement, you're all fired up. You don't do it. You're not only letting yourself down, your family, your legacy, but now you're letting down these people that you've brought into your life in a business sense. And they're sharing information with you. They're willing to do it. Have you noticed that you feel more accountability when you're doing it with people who have an idea of what you're doing? Like they've been there before. They know how easy or hard it is. But do you feel that accountability with that community?
Oh, dude, 100%. And I think people look at the word accountability like it's, a swear word almost, or like people, business owners, like entrepreneurs, we don't like accountability. Like it's whatever. And we look at like an accountability coach as like somebody who can be like, hey, you're going to do these 5 things and like, you better have them done by the next meeting. It's like, well, dude, that's like having a boss, right? Like, I don't want that. But like the accountability happens inherently, like you were just saying. Like when I start talking about, hey, my goal this year is to do X, Y, and Z. When I come to the next meeting, if I'm not doing those things, I'm going to be like, wait, I'm not doing these things. And like, dude, nobody's going to hold your head underwater and force you to grow your business and be a better person and live a legacy. Like if that's what you're looking for, you're never going to find it. Like, this isn't the military, guys. Like this is about freedom in our businesses. So like, when the accountability gets pushed onto you and it becomes a part of who you are as a person, that you do what you say you're going to do because that's what your character is, then you start to grow, right? Like I've been trying to, lose weight for a long time and get in better shape. And like, I started realizing like, dude, nobody's going to do it for me. Like nobody's going to, I can hire a trainer, but like, they're not with me 24/7, right? Like, I have to believe that I deserve to do this and I have to actually want to do it and I've got to do it. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. You need that intrinsic motivation and you can do it with external factors. I really think that you just said that you speak it into existence. This is something you had mentioned before too, about, with that abundance mindset, how gurus online, the quote unquote gurus will tell you, oh, speak it into existence. But I think there is power there in kind of having people in your community that are aware of what you want to do, because now you've said it out loud. And while it's in your head, it's not real. But once you say it out loud, once you get it on paper, that's the first step in the process. Is that what you see?
Yeah, dude. I mean, when we were at this mastermind weekend, there's a guy there named Bradley. He's a really big guy. Look him up. But he actually told us about this study that they did about visualization, where they had 2 groups of people. And they had one group that just went out and they shot a bunch of free throws. They didn't even think about it. Then they had another group sit there and visualize for 10 minutes, shooting free throws and making them. The group that visualized it 10 minutes made like, I can't remember what the number was. It was like twice the amount of free throws as the other group as a whole.
Wow.
Because they literally just like believed it and expected that they were going to make the shots. They saw the ball go into the hoop before they even went out there to pick the ball up. And it's impossible to get a vision for where you want to go if you don't know what you're looking at, right? Yeah. And it's impossible to put a roadmap together if you don't know where you're going. So like, I think what's undervalued, in the world and like what people get out of our group is they see a lot of successful people and how they operate their lives. And then we all level up together. Like, I know I'm talking a lot, dude, but I think this is just a really good point that I want to hammer home to people is like, dude, if like, I am by no means where I want to be. Like I feel like I'm just getting started. Right. But for a lot of people, like if I told you, dude, I could help you get your business from 0 to $500,000 or $1 million, in the next 3 years, to where you're only working a handful of hours per week and you had a team behind you and you were able to do the things that you wanted to live and personally take home 6 figures or multiple 6 figures a year, would you do it? And they would all say, yeah. And then I would say, why aren't you? And they'd be like, why? I don't really know how to do that. Right. Okay. Well, like, what if I could show you how to do it? Well, yeah, I'm all in. Okay. Join the group. It's that simple. Join the group.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm not really sure. Like, it's a lot of money. No, well, you just told me this is what you wanted, and I can show you how to get there. And I can also tell you of all the people in our group that we've been able to do that for and how their lives have gotten better. So why aren't you doing it? And I'm not trying to be a jerk when I say this, but it's like, why aren't you doing it? It's because you don't believe in yourself enough to take the leap. And like, if you're listening to this right now and you're like, Mike, dude, you're speaking right to me. Like, I need that power of belief. Like, I need what you're saying. Like, message me, right? Like, I'm not going to try and jump on, a sales call with you and try to convince you, because we talked about this offline, dude, and I'm gonna say it one more time for you. Like, if people don't at least book a call with you to see what you guys do, because I know how much you guys help business owners. Like, I've met your whole team, you know, in Destin, and like the group and the culture that you guys have. Like, you're just missing out. Like, you're really missing out on something that's awesome. But like, people are so afraid to pick up the phone and just talk to somebody about it. And like, I will never, ever sell somebody to join our program because I don't have to. Like, it's so valuable and it's like so fun and awesome that like, if they don't join it and they don't sign up, then you're probably just not a good fit for growing your business like we want you to grow it.
I think it speaks for itself. Yeah.
That's absolutely a great way of saying it. Yeah.
Yeah. So if someone wants to get in touch with you, Mike, how do they reach you?
Yeah. Check me out on social media, Legacy Mike, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. We also have a free community where, you know, we have about 900 people in the group right now. So, I mean, there's a lot of information that's passed there, you know, and I think that's a part of my legacy is I want to be able to help people who are just getting started, you know, and they can't afford to be in a group. So there's something to be said for that. But then we also have a couple different programs, different price points. So, you know, if you're like, hey, I'm just getting started or whatever, like I would say don't pay, right? Like if you're just getting your business off the ground, like get the free knowledge, man, and get it to a place where you're making 5,000 a month or 10,000. And then, you know, message me and say, hey, dude, I'm ready to take it to the next level.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So is there anything else you want to get in here before we wrap it up? I know we have the Miami trip. Actually, one thing I want to have in here is, so this Miami trip you have, this Miami event, where can people find the video for it? Because there is a beautiful video that Mike has promoting this event.
Thanks, man. Yeah, dude, just message me on social media. We can go over all the details of it. It's going to be a blast, guys. And I only have 3 seats left. So message me as soon as you can. But yeah, anything that I can do to help you guys. And one of the cool things that we're going to be doing while we're in Miami is my social media manager and videographer is going to be there the entire weekend, getting professional footage of everyone. So, you know, if you're coming or you want to come and you're interested, like you're going to be able to bring your company branded stuff and get professional videos of your business and professional headshots and things that we can use for graphic posts and, you know, all of that kind of stuff. It's just going to be an amazing time. A lot of winners there for a weekend, but I'm excited for it. We do 3 trips a year and they're amazing. It's my favorite part of our group. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Sounds like a lot of fun. Looks like a lot of fun. And I'm sure there's a lot of amazing information that gets shared around there.
Yeah, absolutely. When you said like, what's one thing you want to say to wrap up? I actually have a really cool story that I want to share with people.
Let's do it.
So I showed you guys, I just went to Vegas last week and I know I'm talking a lot about it, but I'm just so fired up from the trip. And there was a guy there, his name was Ryan Pineda. And for those of you that don't know, look him up. He's got millions of followers and he was one of the speakers at the event. And he was talking about how, you know, you should be growing your brand online and you should be, you know, using social media and this. And I've been getting a lot more active with it. And I really admired him and the stuff that he does. And so it was time for Q&A. And I stood up and I said, hey, I have a question for you. Like, he's doing a 60-day challenge, the guy, Ryan Pineda. I was like, hey, I'm going to commit to doing your 60-day challenge. But I wanted to ask you if you could commit to doing a 15-minute one-on-one call with me. And it doesn't have to be, you know, it could be at like the convenience of your schedule or whatever. And he was like, oh, man, wow, okay. Kind of put me on the spot here, man. But yeah, let's do it right now. After I get off stage, let's go meet. And so I got a 15-minute one-on-one with a guy who makes $15 million a year through his social media channels and has millions of followers. And the moral of the story, guys, is that number one, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Absolutely. So if you're not willing to have the courage to stand up in front of 200 people, and shoot your shot, you're guaranteed never going to get the opportunity. And number 2 is when you get in the right room of people, magical things happen. And so I would have never had the opportunity to shoot my shot with him if I would not have committed to paying the money to be at that event. Right.
Yeah.
And that conversation alone, I have it recorded on my phone. that 15-minute conversation will make me hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars over my lifetime. Just that 15 minutes.
Wow.
Because of the way that he was able to help me restructure things and put things in a different perspective. And, what I learned, and that was so valuable. So I want to encourage you guys, like, shoot your shot and get in the right room, get around the right people, and magical things will start to happen. But you got to believe in yourself enough to earn it.
Absolutely. Wow, Mike, thank you so much. This was great. This was some profound insight, and you have some great experiences that you were able to share with us. And thank you. I really appreciate it.
Thanks. And I promise you guys, I won't always talk like in generalities. So like if you need help, I actually do have like, the tools and the exact methods and all that kind of stuff. I feel like I answered your question so vaguely, so I apologize for that. But listen, dude, I mean, we're just going to have to set up another one of these, I think, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We can do a couple. We can get into some specific episodes here.
Yeah, I'm all about it. I mean, my two big things that I'm really good at is marketing and building a brand, and then also just building teams. So like any questions you guys have with that, let me know. And then just in general, like link up with Jake, like give him a call. He's so connected with the people in this industry, and like he knows so much about your business you probably don't even realize, and like would be a good strategic partner for you guys. I'm excited to get to know you even better.
I know, me as well, but I can't wait, Mike. But as he said, yeah, give me a call. Let me see what I can do to help you in your business. Absolutely. Yeah. So cool. Thank you, Mike. We're going to wrap it up today. We had a great episode with Mike Wingard of Legacy, and I can't wait to have you on again. To all the listeners out there, and to some of the new ones that I might have met at the PWNA/IWCA event in Orlando, I just want to let you know we have fantastic guests coming in the near future. We have about 20-something guests lined up to come on and join us. We're going to have episodes that are being pumped out of here from inside the industry. These are experts who are going to come in and share their experiences, their insights, and tell you how they did what you want to do. So take your business to the next level by listening to great people like Legacy Mike over here.
Thanks, man.
All right. So thank you. Thank you for joining us, Mike. Thank you for joining us to everyone in the audience, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks for listening. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and smash that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit the bell so you won't miss our next episode. This episode was produced by Jake Aronson. This has been a Pair Payments production.